What would you do if a dark figure with an eerie wind suddenly appeared next to you while you were squatting in the toilet late at night? Let me tell you a true story. This happened when my friend Xiaowu was a child. During one of his winter or summer breaks, he went back to his hometown and stayed with his grandmother. The village was very simple, and his grandmother's house was located in an alleyway that was so narrow that only two people could walk side by side. On both sides were bungalows and tile-roofed houses, so sunlight rarely entered during the day, and sometimes they had to light lamps even during the day. To make matters worse, there was no toilet in each household, and residents on both sides of the alleyway had to share a public toilet. They had to carry water to the toilet to bathe and wash up. Why did Xiaowu like to go there despite the poor environment? Because his grandmother didn't mind him, and he could play freely. Xiaowu and his neighbor, Xiaozhang, were particularly close, and they played with a small gaming console from that era. One night, they played games until about 1 a.m. before they couldn't take it anymore and went to bed. However, maybe because the food didn't agree with him today, his stomach woke him up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m. When he got up and looked at the time, it was almost 2 a.m. His grandparents were asleep, so he took a flashlight and some toilet paper and went out by himself. There was no light in the toilet, so he could only rely on the flashlight to illuminate the way ahead. Perhaps it was because it was his first time going to the toilet at night, or because the temperature at night was already low. He always felt that this alleyway was particularly cold. When he first entered the toilet, a cat suddenly jumped out, scaring him so much that he almost threw the flashlight away. In the public restroom, men are on the left and women on the right. He entered the men's room with a flashlight in hand. Despite his young age, he knew to choose a clean stall for comfort. As soon as he entered, he saw a large urinal with 6 squatting holes next to it. After searching for a while, he finally found that the 4th hole was the cleanest, so he decided to take care of his business there. He placed the flashlight on the partition next to him and turned the light down to save power. Then he began to focus on his task. Strangely, there was only one door in this restroom and no windows inside. He didn't know how the wind blew in, but he felt his behind was particularly cool. In addition, the wild cats outside kept meowing, their cries sounding like a baby crying, making him nervous while he was relieving himself. After 3 or 4 minutes, he thought he was almost done and just needed to push a little harder to finish. Just as he was about to pull up his pants and leave, someone suddenly came in. This person was a tall man. Xiaowu was young at the time and didn't get a clear look at this man's face because the light from the flashlight was too dim. He watched as this man walked past him wearing black pants. Strangely, this man was wearing old-fashioned waterproof rubber boots. Xiaowu couldn't figure out why he would wear such shoes to the restroom. This man didn't react at all when he stepped in urine, which made Xiaowu think that perhaps it was someone from a nearby house who got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And this man squatted in the 5th hole next to him, with someone else squatting next to him, which made him feel more at ease and less afraid. So he decided to squat for a while longer, lest he have stomachache later and have to come back to the restroom again. After a few minutes, he started to feel strange. He was making noises in his stall, but the men in the neighboring stall, number 5, were completely silent. When Xiaowu finished and stood up to leave, he couldn't help but wonder why the man was so quiet while using the restroom. Usually, when men use the restroom, they smoke, huff, or spit, right? Why was it so quiet? He wanted to take a flashlight and check, but he was afraid of being scolded. Xiaowu left and coincidentally saw Xiaozhang coming to use the restroom too. He said he had a stomachache as well. Then he asked Xiaowu to wait outside for a while. However, Xiaozhang took more than 10 minutes to come out. Seeing Xiaozhang come out, he suddenly remembered the man in the neighboring stall. It had been almost 20 minutes, and his legs were numb from sitting still. Yet the man hadn't come out. So he asked Xiaozhang, "Which stall did you use? Did you see the man in stall number 5? He hasn't come out for a long time." Xiaozhang was stunned and said he usually used stall number 6 because all the previous stalls were empty when he passed by. Xiaowu didn't believe him and pulled Xiaozhang along with him to check with a flashlight. As expected, there was no one in stall number 5. It was like a bolt from the blue. He clearly saw that man wearing rubber shoes and black pants squatted next to him. They grabbed each other's hands and ran back in fear. Since then, he never dared to use public restrooms at night again.